Hello. So today I was just thinking about how we are attached to the permanence of things, yet everything is transient, changing, and limited. For example, if you are a child and you are attached to your childhood, you will be disappointed when you become a teenager, you're an adolescent, and if you're attached to that time where you are in your teens, and now you have entered the adulthood, you have graduated and you have to you have responsibilities and everything, and now a person will obviously, because you are used to something, and now the world is changing rapidly, right? So there is this concept in Zen Buddhism of complete impermanence and permanence, which means that the world we perceive is Maya, or an illusion or a mirage, and that is comprised or appearing within the infinite space of blank. What you cannot truly describe it, because as many philosophers and mystics have said, that if you can describe it, it is not it, because one cannot perceive it through their senses or cognition. Because if you are describing something as infinite or oneness or anything, nothingness, that is an experience, and truth is beyond experience. So that there is a paradox, because one does on this path experience the purity that lies within us, yet we are probably getting this knowledge from God, and we are not actually realizing the truth, because truth in its pure form, it's untainted. It cannot be perceived, because it's uncreated. Now, this is something we can think about, contemplate or reflect upon, that why do we go through different experiences on this journey, what's the point? Well, just like a person needs five senses to perceive this world, when you are on the spiritual path, you have to go through pain and suffering, and you need the opposite as well, which is grace, bliss, presence of God in the form of some sensation. You can sense the warmth or the light, and all these things. That is a sign from God that He is with you. So now even if you see God in a particular form, that is God manifesting in a particular way. That is not the true nature, so that His creation can perceive Him and worship His beauty. God is not dependent on that. God is beyond the mind. God is, and this is something you cannot explain. I think every seeker has pondered over this, and we eventually come to this realization that there is only an answer. There is no question, and there is no why. You cannot. You just have to accept it. You cannot give any reason. You can explain the significance of the universe, why it was created, and the answer is that God created it for His creation to perceive Him, to know Him. If you see it from a mystical perspective, God manifested to know Himself, and His creation is knowing itself and realizing God or its true nature. So it's happening at a macrocosmic level and a microcosmic level. Now that is something beautiful if you think about that. On one hand, God is, and within this moment He is also appearing. There is no time or space in reality, which means everything is happening in the now. The Big Bang, the divine seed. So imagine all that process. It's all recorded within the mind of God, and it's not simply appearing. There's also there's a lot of depth in it. That there's mathematics, geometry, so much within that. There's a grand design, and so you can feel that happening on various levels. So this is something so beautiful that makes you appreciate silence. We think we are silent, but true silence is where you are not there, you no longer exist. Even if you vanish for a second, you will get a glimpse of truth. So the more a person is appreciating stillness, the more you can appreciate the beauty of God, or the presence of God. And one must not be greedy or expect something more. One should only be grateful that this moment of illumination is coming from God Himself, and He is reminding me of Him. Of course, every person, a Buddhist would describe his experience in a different way. A Hindu would describe it in a different way. A Christian will describe it in a different way. But it is the same thing, you know. So this is the beauty of the mystics, and I have always been fascinated by them, although when I see myself on this path, you know, struggling with tiny things, seeing my ego and my, you know, arrogance, all the sins that I have, it feels like the people who are genuinely devoted to God, they were also great sinners in the past, but their services led them to become a friend of God. So the point is that it's not about reaching a status, you know, but I feel that if one can try to appreciate this moment as a practice, no matter what your beliefs are, this is something that is common, you know, between every human, that we can just sit and close our eyes just like we sleep. Every person sleeps like trees and animals sleep. We also sleep, we also dream. But when you are dreaming consciously, everything starts shifting. The same way when you are, they say, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And that is the truth. The world is a mirror, it's a quantum reality. It is a projection of your consciousness, and it's so powerful that, you know, you are unable to control it sometimes, because it's happening at a very deep level. But if a person changes their perception and their try to change their outlook, stay positive, you know, if your health improves, you work on yourself, you automatically start observing the shift. And the more you work on that, you know, you will notice that everything is appearing different, because it's a program. But when we see it from a spiritual perspective, we realize that everything is a ripple effect. It's like it's like you are water. It's just water, and within that water, imagine there is your reflection is appearing, and you are looking at that reflection. You're not looking at the water, and this reflection is there because of the motion. There's this constant vibration. There's this because of when there is there's some anxiety. Everything is happening due to there's a sound, the divine sound, right? We talked about it earlier in the previous videos. So the moment a person is able to be still, they can see their true self, or get a gist of it. And I feel that it's a very interesting thing that one can try to meditate for years, and they may not be able to get that, but it only happens when your own self or God makes you experience it, because He is giving you hints that this is all temporary. You are running after nothing, and I am with you. I am you. And it's when you are feeling really frustrated and stuck sometimes, like why is this happening? Why am I still here? What's the purpose of this? Because it can make you paranoid if you are not in a healthy state, or it's just like if somebody takes LSD, and they have been on that trip for a long time, and they crash, and if they return to this world, they will never be the same, and it will be really, really depressing. And there are some people who are unable to go back they are unable to return to the normal state. So I just felt like sharing this message, and so just stay away from news. Try to watch high vibrational, pure, positive things as much as possible. Give time to yourself, and just be present, and everything will be alright. Take care.